What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We are going to be playing a best of 3 against Max from Discord. I believe he goes by the name Rockpick on Discord. And met him a few weeks back, and he's a really great guy. Gives me a lot of good feedback on my YouTube. We have battled before, and he kicked my butt. So hopefully we can get some type of redemption. We're going to be doing VGC 17 roles, and I'm going to be using my Not River Davis's team because I just love the ingenuity and the originality of the team, because I did make that myself completely. It was just everything was myself, and I built that team from the ground up. So we're going to be using that team. Plus, we need more practice with it anyway, because I'm probably just going to be playing the rest of the format with this team, or slight variations of this team, because the format is coming to a close, and there's really no reason to be switching things up all too often, because the more you switch it up, the less familiar you are with the team, so less likely you'll do well at tournaments. I feel very comfortable with this team. I've been doing very well with this team. The only thing I really worry about is the fact that I've been using this so often now, and I've been using it on my YouTube, that so many people are familiar with the team. Not only are they familiar with my variation of this team, but it did win a regional championship, so people are probably familiar with what it does in general. Anyway, we're going to be playing against Max right here. Max is very good. He was just playing in a German tournament, and he just took some time off from that tournament to do a best of 3 with me. So he has the Arcanine, the Gastrodon, the Garchomp, Ninetales, the Coco, and the Muk. I know that that Max likes Muk. He likes Muk a lot, and actually is very good against my team, considering the fact that I have a Tapu takes 4 times damage, and I have a lot of berries on my team. So we could do a lot of work with knockoff. Muk is a big problem for this team, so I'm gonna have to get Snorlax into a position where I can actually do a good amount of work. So I feel. Let me see. I could lead that, fake out. Let's bring the Slowking right here. I'm going to bring the Snorlax in the back. I'm going to bring the Tapu Bulu. Don't necessarily know if that was a good choice, because he does have the Ninetales, is with the Muk. I'm pretty much leading with my Persian right here, because he doesn't have any way to shut down my Fake Out. Doesn't have a Tapu Lele or anything like that. Normally, like the first game, I just try to like wing it. I gotta like start having a better thought process, because I'm being exposed to the team for the first time on my opponent's side, so I'm running it down as well as trying to think at the same time. But we're gonna go with this anyway. Okay, all right. So don't necessarily want to get faked out. If he wants to go for like a Tectonic Rage, it's not going to knock out my Slowking, or at least I would hope it's not. I think I EV'd my Slowking to survive a Tectonic Rage. Alright, so I get up the Trick Room right here. My Persian will be going last, so my Persian does have the chance to take the Fake Out from the Muk. And then I could switch it in my Snorlax, go for the Belly Drum first, and then he can't knock me off. So I think that's what we're going to be going for right here. So I'm going to be going for the Trick Room. And then I'm going to go for the Fake Out onto the Muk. Although I think I don't want to go for Curses either, because that's another problem. I'm going to go for the Tectonic Rage. So I could have very well have gone for the Fake Out into the Garchomp. And I think that was a better call, because I think a knockoff would have done less damage to my Slowking than the Tectonic Rage would. Unless this is like a critical hit, I am almost like, I feel 100% like I feel very confident that that this won't knock my Slowking out. Yep, we actually lived that pretty comfortably. So I think the knockoff would have probably done more. And Muk does have the ability to go for a taunt too, so I don't have to worry about that option. And the Garchomp did just not waste its Z-move. It did get a lot of damage off on my Slowking. So honestly, I can go for the Scold into the Muk right now, potentially get a burn. I do have the Tapu Bulu in the back if he wants to go for like the So you have in the back. I'm just gonna take the second to think. I don't have to really think about this too much. The Snorlax is going to be slower than everything else on his team. Just going to go for the double into the Muk. The Muk really has no reason to protect right here. Garchomp's going to be withdrawn, probably scouting out for potential Ice Beam, which is really smart. It's going to go for Shadow Sneak. This still shouldn't knock my Slowking out. Okay. Should be writing down his moves as well. So, good move. Very, very good move. Very, very smart. And then I can't burn, but I'm still going to get a parting shot off into the Muk. And then I can bring in my Snorlax, and then I can go for a Belly Drum. Okay, so let's take this. Alright, so he brought the Gastrodon. He has got Shadow Sneak. I assume that he has the knockoff and the Poison Jab, or he could even have the Gunk Shot with the Muk. This is Z move, so I don't have to worry about a Scarf on the Garchomp. And he's going to have Earthquake because he had the Tectonic Rage. I'm going to bring the Snorlax right here. Now, I do have to worry about a burn. Okay. Question is, do I save the Snorlax? Because he's likely going to go for a Scald and then a move. Or he can go for the... He could very well go for the Shadow Sneak, so into this slot. I bring in my Persian, get a Fake Out on the next turn, and then I'm going to go for a Belly Drum right here. I got to hope that he doesn't burn me, because the Gastrodon's definitely going to be going for a Skull right here. It's going to be doing a lot of damage, too, because I did give it its Storm Drain boost, which is kind of unfortunate, but the Muk shouldn't be doing too much damage right here. Could very well go for... I was going to say, could very well go for the Shadow Sneak. But it's probably going to be... He's probably going to be doubling up into the Snorlax, which definitely would be the smartest play. Probably Gunk Shot, Poison Jab into the Snorlax. Toxic. Alright, so... Great move, great move. I would say the only good thing about this is... Clear Smog. I forgot he gets Clear Smog. Alright. So, Clear Smog. I think he used that against me last time, so I should have remembered that, but I've been playing so many games in the past couple of weeks that I cannot remember that whatsoever, so very good tech. This is like the third Muk that I've played with Clear Smog. Okay, alright. What do you think the Muk does right here? I'm going to take this time to, I think the Gastrodon go for like a, I'm actually going to go for another Belly Drum right here. Going to go for the Fake Out into the Muk. He can't burn my Snorlax, although he can go for the Scald and the Persian still won't knock me out. I do get a critical hit. I'm going to go for another Belly Drum, which is kind of greedy because if he goes for the Scald into the Snorlax, poison damage will probably take me out. Well, let's see what happens right here. And he's going to go for the Scald and Snorlax. And I think the burn, yep, the burn will be able to take me out. So I had to go for something right there, because ooh, wow, I actually survived. Okay, so that's huge. That's really big. So he has the so I can go for the let's see, how many turns of Trick Room do I have left right here? Was the last turn of Trick Room. I'm going to go for a Z Parting Shot. Into the Muk. And now I'm going to go for the Return into Gastrodon. Gastrodon, I think out of both of them, the Gastrodon is less likely to... okay, cool. I was going to say it's less likely to go for a Protect right here. Poison Jab probably into the Persian because Snorlax is going to be going down right here. Oh no, okay. So maybe like catching me on a switch right there, or just anticipating a recycle. I think going for a... I actually would be able to bring my Persian again and then set up Trick Room again. But I don't necessarily know whether or not that's a good idea because the Muk is on the field, and then I'll have my Tapu Bulu in the back as another means of offense. I think I should have gone for the KO into the Muk right there, because the Gastrodon, unless it has like Ice Beam or something like that, doesn't really do too much damage to me, but I could still go for Scalds now freely, because I'll have all of my HP back, although he could still go for knockoffs. But we'll even have you know what, I think this is Assault Vest, because he was telling me how much he loved Assault Vest on his Muk. So that's definitely a potential. And I'm going to go into the Persian right here. Alright, so he's at -2 with his Muk. I don't think he's going to switch out. Knockoff's not going to do that much damage to my Slow King. Alright. And the Garchomp's going to come in right here. Okay. So I could very well go for a foul play into the Garchomp. He can anticipate that, and then he can go for the knockoff into my Slow King. So I'm just going to go for a Skull right here, potentially get a burn. And then I really don't think there's any reason for me to fake out. It's really risky right here, but I'm going to go for a parting shot into the Muk. Okay, I thought he was going to protect with the Garchomp. Again, he's not choiced or anything like that, so he does have the chance to go for a protect, but that's fine because if anything, he's likely going to be going for a Rock Slide. It's not going to be doing too much to my Bulu. I really hope he doesn't go for a Poison Jab. I think he goes for a knockoff into the Slow King, if anything. Yeah, I should have went for the return into the Muk. That's poor decision making on my part. And the Poison Jab, please don't be into the Persian. Oh, he's got double Poison Jab, so this is going to be going to the Slow King. Okay, knockoff probably into the Slow King as well. It still shouldn't take me out. Yeah. Poison Touch. Poison Touch, yeah. So this is the same set that he was running before, which is actually a pretty cool tech. It's a Poison Touch Assault Vest Muk. Okay, unfortunately we don't get the burn on him. There's really no reason for me to go for a Trick Room or anything like that. Okay, so the Garchomp goes for a Poison Jab into the Tapu Bulu. Or you could I'm not going to overextend and try to outpredict him right here. Muk's going to withdraw. Okay, that's fine. Arcanine's going to come in. Went for the Scald into Arcanine Slide, although it's probably not going to be doing too much either. So we're going to get a Intimidate off on me. That's okay. Tapu Bulu is going to protect. I'm anticipating a Poison Jab into the Tapu Bulu. Again, I'm not overextending or anything like that, but he could very well go for the Poison Jab into the Slow King. Okay, so he's going to do that. It's fine. Good damage. It's good damage. Alright, so what... I mean, I honestly don't think I have any chance to winning this game. I'm just trying to get as much information out of him as much as possible. Because the obvious play right here is for me to go switch out into the Persian in that slot, and he could just double up onto that slot, although I don't think it'll take me... it'll still not take me out. And then Persian's like literally the only way that I win this game. So I'm going to Heal Pulse that slot and switch it into Persian. Hopefully he doesn't get like a burn or a poison. If anything, if he got anything, hopefully it would be a poison instead of a burn, because Foul Play is doing a lot of damage against both of his Pokemon. Yep, it's going to go for a Poison Jab into that slot. Hopefully he doesn't get the burn, because he's probably going to double up that slot. Yep. Alright, it's a good thing we went for the Heal Pulse into that. Alright. So he does have the Muk to bring in into the back. If Slow King takes one hit, it's going down right here, because I don't think Poison will take me out after this turn, but definitely one hit and Poison will. And I do have the availability to fake out. Whenever the Skull into the Garchomp, because I'm not particularly... well, Garchomp really doesn't particularly threaten me either with Poison Jab. I'm going to go for the burn potential into that slot. Because the obvious play right here is for me to go for the Skull into the Arcanine and then fake out the Garchomp. So I'm going to go for the Scold right there, and then I'm going to go for a Foul Play right here. I think the Muk comes in on the Arcanine slot, because you preserve the Intimidate. Oh, he's going to go for an Extreme Speed. See if this knocks my Slow King out. It might not. Yeah, so it's not going to take me out. So good. We're going to get Foul Play off into the Garchomp, because I don't think he's going to double up into me, and then Skull should be able to take him out. Poison Jab. Let's see who this goes into. Okay, so he's doubling up into the Slow King. Maybe trying to take me out before I go for a potential Trick Room. I could have very well have went for a Trick Room right there, actually. There's no reason for me to. Because, again, Pokemon, if any Pokemon that I have right now is going to win me the game, it's definitely my Persian. Losing the Snorlax early on was very detrimental because I basically, you know, this team it basically has Pokemon that support Snorlax so well. Tapu Bulu with the Grassy Terrain, Persian with Parting Shot Fake Out, and Quash, double Trick Room. So losing the Snorlax doesn't make for a great game, but Matt, we know that the Muk has Clear Smog now. Okay, so what do we do right here? That actually didn't do too much to the Garchomp, unfortunately. Did I get I was going to say, did I get a Parting Shot off into that? I don't think I did. I'm going to go for the Horn Leech right here. And then I'm just going to go for the Foul Play on the Arcanine. I mean, there's really... Okay, so there's really no reason for him to withdraw either of his Pokemon. He's going to double protect. Okay. Maybe... Okay, so if this is the last turn of Grassy Terrain, that is a really, really smart play. I was actually thinking about going for a Bulk Up. Because it's going to reduce the amount of power for the... and he gets Grassy Terrain healing as well, so that's a really good move. So I think whole Poison Jab into the Bulu with his Garchomp, and then go for the Flare Blitz into my Persian. Because there's really no reason for him to double up into the Persian. I'm not going to knock either of his Pokemon out with Foul Play, and there's really no reason for him to go into the Muk, because both of these have a good matchup against my Tapu Bulu. My Tapu Bulu is not going to be able to take either of them out. He could very well double up into one of them, because he had double protected. I'd much rather get rid of... I don't think he doubles up, because I do have the potential to go for a... I have the potential to go for a Protect right here, and I don't necessarily think he wants to risk that. But I think, if anything... Okay, if anything, he goes for one attack into the Tapu Bulu. If it's a Flare Blitz, that's fine, because he'll be taking Flare Blitz Recoil, and then I can go for the Foul Play into the Arcanine the following turn. Okay, no, he just doubles up into the Persian. Wow, I survived with 1 HP. Unfortunately, he gets the Poison now. So it's going to be able to take me out. And then he gets the Free Switch into the Muk, which is basically going to seal the deal right there. So, long and drawn-out game, but we still got a lot of good information out of that. Most importantly, we've seen that his Muk got the Clear Smog. And I think if my Persian lived right there, it wasn't that big of a deal either. I mean, granted, I can go for a Fake Out, a Foul Play into the Arcanine. But the Arcanine could very well go for a Protect. And then the Muk can go for an attack into my Persian, because I was probably going to be tempted to Protect with my Bulu. So, good game. Let's see whether or not we could survive a Arcanine Flare Blitz. I think we can. I honestly think we can. And interested to see how much damage... Well, I was gonna say, I don't want to reveal Superpower yet. I don't think it's a big deal if I do reveal it. But I want to see, most importantly, I want to see how much the Flare Blitz does to my Bulu. I think I could take it. Okay, no, I can't. So it's probably max attack Arcanine. My Bulu is incredibly bulky. As you see, is max HP, and I think I'm majority of my. I think I'm like all defense and special defense with max HP. We don't have much attack investment because I do have the bulk to compensate for that. But good games, very, very good games, Max. Really, really well-rounded team. I'm going to take this time to write his team down. So, Poison Jab. He's got Protect on. Protect on the Garchomp. He's got E-Speed. Protect. Flare Blitz on the Arcanine. think that's all he revealed on the Arcanine, right? He could very well have Roar, which is, like, I'm having PTSD about Roar. Because I was playing in a tournament the other day, and I played, like, 3 Roar Arcanines, and I had to, like, play around that and taunt. And that's another really, really good thing about Clear Smog. It's not like Haze or anything like that where you can taunt Haze. You can't taunt Clear Smog because it's an actual attacking move. And it can't miss either, which is another really cool thing about that. And Muk gets stabbed. Alright, so we have Shadow Sneak, Clear Smog. I think it was Poison Jab that he had revealed, right? Poison Jab, and then Knock Off. I think I'm going to bring Mimikyu this game, though. It's a way better matchup against his team. I don't necessarily think he brings the Coco again. He did really well that game. He didn't really need to bring it. I'm going to bring the Persian in the front again. Persian's really, really good in this game. Potential get a Trick Room up with the Mimikyu. I can go for a Twinkle Tackle if he does decide to lead to Garchomp. Who else do I want to bring here? I would definitely bring my Marowak if I knew he was going to bring the Coco, but again, Gastrodon and the Muk really threaten the Marowak, and he didn't bring the Coco, but he very well could bring that now. I necessarily want to bring the Bulu. Poison Jab, he's got the Arcanine, he's got the Ninetales, he's got the Muk. You know what? I'm actually going to bring the Marowak, just in case he does bring the Coco. Because my Bulu really is really threatened right here, because 4 of the Pokemon could do a lot of damage and potentially OHKO my Bulu. And I'm not too threatened from the Earthquakes because he doesn't necessarily have any partners that he wants to Earthquake next to, unless he protects. So let's see how well we can play this one. Now it's game 2. Not going to be too upset if I do lose this. We're getting a lot of good information, getting some practice in, and Max is a really good battler. So he's just going to have the same lead as he had before. So honestly, I think he goes for the Protect on the Garchomp because you protect. Because I can go for the Fake Out into the Muk, and then he goes for the Protect, and then I blow my Z move essentially. And then, does he have anyone that he wants to switch into a Twinkle Tackle? Except the Garchomp. The Garchomp, not the Garchomp. The Arcanine would be a pretty good switch in for the Twinkle Tackle, although it would probably still take a lot of damage, and then I could fail play. So I think I'm just going to go for the safe play right here. Go for the Twinkle Tackle, and then go for the Fake Outs into the Muk. I think he protects the Garchomp. No, he doesn't protect the Garchomp. Okay, so great. Let's see what he does. He's going to go for the Poison Jab, probably just to break the, break the Disguise. Hopefully he doesn't get a Poison. You could still get Poisons through the Disguise. Status moves still work through the Disguise. Alright, good. So the Garchomp should be going down, barring like an extreme amount of bulk. I know I always say that, and I usually OHKO the Garchomp, but there's always that slim chance that it does have a good amount of bulk on it. Don't think the Muk will have anything that could potentially OHKO me. If this doesn't take out the Garchomp, that's perfectly fine with me. So then I could just go for a Fail Play and Trick Room. Yep, yeah, so it's going to take out the Garchomp. Okay, so the Garchomp did end up taking down my Disguise, which is kind of bad, because now he can go for a Flare Blitz into my Mimikyu. I don't think that the Muk would end up going for the knockoff into the Persian, because he could very well anticipate like the Trick Room and then me switching into my Snorlax into the Persian slot. And if he does that, it's actually not that big of a deal, because if he takes out my Mimikyu, then I can switch into my Persian right there, and then I can go for a Belly Drum. Alright, I'm gonna go for the Trick Room right here. And I'm gonna go for the Parting Shot into the Arcanine, because I have a strong suspicion that his Arcanine's gonna be able to OHKO my Mimikyu. So he might very well double up expecting this as well. He could knock off into the Persian too, which would be a really good play. And I'm going to have to go into Snorlax because if he knocks off into the Marowak, it's not looking too good. So let's see how well this works. He's going to Flare Blast into the Mimikyu, and I think he goes for the knockoff into the Snorlax. This won't be able to take me out now. Knockoff into the Snorlax. Oh, into the Mimikyu. Okay. And it takes me out, so that's actually pretty good. Because if he didn't take me out right there, I get up to Trick Room. But the problem with that is then he can clear Smog my Belly Drum. So I think this has actually put me into a better position than... now, we don't know that last move. We've seen E-Speed, we've seen Protect, we've seen Flare Blitz on the Arcanine. So the Arcanine could very well have Roar or Will-O-Wisp, which both would not be very good right here. Always concerning to know that last move on the Arcanine. But honestly, the play that I have to do right here is I have to go for the Fake Out into the Muk because it could very well go for a Clear Smog, and then I'm going to go for the Belly Drum right here, and then the following turn I can go for the Quash into the Muk, and then I can go for the Return into the Muk. So, question is, does Max hate Belly Drum Snorlax that much that he has Clear Smog and Roar? We're going to find out. Actually, I think it is Roar because my Snorlax went before the Arcanine. Oh my goodness. Wow, Max really does not like Belly Drum Snorlax. Okay, so when you're playing an opponent that has like really good techs or is like very prepared for Belly Drum Snorlax or even Curse Snorlax, it's really hard to play around that. And it's not too surprising that he would have both of those techs because there are certain games where you might not bring the Muk, or certain games where you might not bring the Arcanine because they don't have a good matchup, and then you have two good options for the Snorlax. So, and it's not surprising because I gotta think for a second right here. I'm gonna go for a fail play, and then I'm gonna go for a Detect on my Marowak because I think he goes for like a knockoff into the Marowak. He's gonna withdraw the Arcanine, very smart, and preserve the Intimidate. We're going to go for the foul play into the Gastronaut. It's not going to be doing too much. The Muk is a huge problem for this team. Considering the fact that it's a Assault Vest, it's even a bigger problem because my special attackers can't do too much to it. And foul play, although it's stab and does a lot of damage to physical type attackers, such as Muk, it doesn't do too much damage to the Muk because it resists the hit, and it's just really bulky. And basically, continuing what I was saying before, it doesn't surprise me that he would have two techs because I actually play multiple teams that had two techs for the Belly Drum Snorlax because it's just so prevalent now. Even if you don't have Trick Room on your team, there are people who still have Snorlaxes on their team just to counter the Trick Room because it's such a good Trick Room counter. Not going to be too upset about losing this. There's really nothing I could have done right there. I didn't know the last move on the Arcanine. I could have very well assumed that it was Roar, but again, nothing I could do about that. And there's another predicament I'm in right here because I don't know whether or not my Marowak is faster than the Muk. I doubt it because if this is like Adamant, just like no speed investment Muk, it is faster than my Marowak because my Marowak's slower for the Trick Room option. I just want to see how much damage this does to the Muk. Actually does pretty good damage. It's going to go for the knockoff, probably in a Marowak slot. Yep, it's still going to do a considerable amount of damage, and the Snorlax does get the Poison Touch. Really, really cool Muk, and then Muk single-handedly manhandled this team. So I guess one thing that I could have done better was could have probably just faked out the I could have faked out the Arcanine and then gone for a high horsepower. I think that was a better option because I'd still be getting damage onto the Muk. And then I'd be also threatening the Arcanine with the foul play. So I think that was a better call right there, and not needlessly go for the Belly Drum because then I waste my berry and I could have used it in the future without the Belly Drum. And Snorlax is pretty strong without the Belly Drum. So this is going to be chalked up to a loss. There's absolutely no way I can win this game. I'm just going to go for the double up into the Muk right here. Could very well just go for... Okay, it's going to bring out the Muk. Probably going to the Arcanine right now. Yep, it's going to go to the Arcanine. So I'm going to go with the double up into the Arcanine. It's still not going to be able to take it out because I'm going to be intimidating on my Snorlax. Intimidate doesn't really mean anything onto my Persian. So I gotta start doing like, I think like that's a critical hit, isn't it? Ooh, not a critical hit. Okay, it just does that much damage. So this is definitely max attack Arcanine. It's gonna go for the skull, probably into the Snorlax. Yep. And then high horsepower. Yeah, so definitely going for the high horsepower because without the intimidate, that does so much damage. Yeah, so not going for. I was being a little too overzealous, and then going for the I'm gonna go for foul play right here. It's likely just gonna go for the skull under the Snorlax slot. In which case, there's nothing I can do about that because I don't want to switch into my Marowak. Actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go for This is pretty silly because I think the Arcanine just protect right here because it can go down, or you can just switch it into Muk. I'm gonna go for the parting shot right there, and then I'm just gonna go for the return into the Gastrodon again. There's really no reason for me to be thinking about this all too extensively. Gonna go for foul. Okay, so probably trying to get some damage off before I go for the foul play into the Arcanine, which is fine with me. I'm gonna get off a. Let's see if this actually takes me out now, because it is at -1. I still think it takes it out. Stab, Scald. I only have 41 HP left. Interested to see if it does take me out, but the poison will still take me out after this turn. Okay, I was going to say if he... Okay, no, it doesn't take me out, so we're going to get a return off into the Gastrodon. That does nothing. And it looks like it's leftovers? Yeah. That does nothing. Oh my goodness, that does nothing. It's good that I record these battles too, and if I don't record them, I usually save them. I can just go back on them, and okay, so I think the because now I can fake out, and then I can go for the Shadow Bone into the Gastrodon, but a switch that he can do is actually go into the Muk. So actually going to ooh, what I can do right here is I can go for a Swords Dance. Pretty can go out to the Muk, and then I want to keep the Arcanine in here actually. I want to keep the Arcanine in here because the Arcanine doesn't really threaten. Yep, he's going to go into the Muk. So I could have went for a fail play into that slot, and then I'm going to go for a Quash, and then I'm going to go for a. Because the Arcanine already procced its berry, it's going to do a lot of recoil damage to itself. And it's going to go for another extreme speed, so we're kind of playing mind games right here. Go over with the Swords Dance, because this is literally my only win con. In order for me to take that Gastrodon out with a Shadow Bone, I have to go for that. And I'm going to go for a Flare Blitz right here. Now, if I did have a Marowak that was faster... Somewhere right here. Yeah, it's the Muk's definitely going to be outspeeding me. Another play in which he can do right here is switch out the Muk, because he's probably like, oh my god, he's going to outspeed me, he's going to go for Flare Blitz into the Muk. So he switches into his Gastrodon. So I'm going to go for a Shadow Bone right here, and I'm going to go for a fail play right here. Let's see if he does it. See if he... Oh, okay, no, he doesn't. I didn't show the Quash, so... Let's see if I actually am faster. No, I'm not faster. I survive. And, oh man, these poison touches are crazy. I think it's like a 30% chance to poison, so it's like a poison jab almost with any type of attack. So if I go for, honestly, like, I really feel like I win the game if I go for a Quash into the Muk and Flare Blitz, because the Muk will go down. Now the Arcanine probably was going to Flare Blitz my Persian, but then my Marowak would still be able to outspeed. My Marowak would still be able to outspeed his Gastrodon, because the Gastrodon's extremely slow. Usually when you're running Gastrodon, you run minimum speed. So, alright, let's see how much this does. No, it still doesn't take it out. Alright, so one thing in which I could have done, again, I go for the Quash into the Muk. My Marowak takes the Muk out. So he has the option to go for the Flare Blitz, and if I had to guess, he probably goes for the Flare Blitz into the Persian. because it's threatening his Arcanine, which I still think it would be able to take me out. He does recoil damage to himself. If he does take me out, then he takes himself out. And then the Gastrodon can be brought in, and I go for a Shadow Bone. I'm at +2. I have my Thick Club still, and I still should be able to take the Gastrodon out. So I think I win at that point. But again, like I was overextending right there. I was making a prediction that I didn't need to make because I have yet to shown the Quash. Now, I think he was in a position to do what I thought he was going to do if I did show the Quash earlier on, but I didn't show the Quash, so there was really no reason for me to overextend and go for their prediction when I didn't need to. So again, I think I do pull that out. Like, I can't say that I would definitely win right there. But I was definitely putting myself in a winnable position if I do that play. I'm kind of kicking myself for that right now because I did kind of pull that back at the end there without getting a belly drum off with the Snorlax. I think not going for the belly drum with the Snorlax was the call. I think knowing when to go for the belly drum and then not go for the belly drum is the call on a Snorlax team when I'm running it like this. Definitely good experience to have to know going in the future. Not knowing that last move on the Arcanine did really kill me because it ended up being the Roar, which I thought it would be after selecting my moves. But I could have very well have went for a high horsepower and then and then if he goes for the Roar, he roars me into something else that I have in the back, which would have been the Marowak, and that I could just very well switched into the Snorlax, or even like gone for a parting shot and then switch to my Persian on that slot, in which he wouldn't be able to knock off my Z gem. Anyway, really good games, Max. It's good that I can go back and then see like the mistakes that I did make. That makes it well worth like recording these and then like, you know, basically talking myself through the entire process. Like, I don't need to win these games. I just need to get good information on how to go with this team in the future, and that's why I'm pretty much just using this team up until the very end of this format. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for battling against me, Max. Very good games. Very good battler. And that Muk is devastating. Anyway, I'll see you all later, and take care. Peace.